my last video failed. It was unnecessarily long, 30 minutes long. Of course, I would have shortened it. So instead, I thought of just speaking small, to the point, not running around like a monkey. Does monkey run around? I don't know. Yeah, something with the tail of the monkey. It goes round and round. So this is the first video in the series, and what is the series about? Why is it a series? Because one, I intend to continually update the video, although I don't have provision to update the video, add more time to a certain video in YouTube or somewhere else. If I want to keep it for my own record, maybe I can do that, yes. Then it will be the same thing. It will be like series, one video file per recording. So the same way I'm going to upload on video, upload on YouTube. So this video series, it's going to be about the PCL injury that I've suffered. Uh, that has rendered my left knee, left leg kind of useless. Not useless completely, but not it's not functioning very optimally. Second will be the rehabilitation it goes through. That will be the third. Second will be reconstruction. That is the operation that is going to need reconstruction. It will be reconstructed. So it's going to be about that. Second question: Why am I? Why have I chosen to make videos on it? So naturally, when someone gets hurt uh, quite severely, not just a simple bruise. Yeah, if they're having some allergy, they will look into it, as in try to look into it, try to go to Google and try to find more information about it, to be more informative on it, or to be more cautious about it, or just to have some sort of knowledge on it. So it's basic human nature. We need to know things. No, I'm not a person that would say that should say that. I mean, I'm not a philosopher. That's what I mean. So now this video, why am I making it? This is completely bullshit. Whatever I just said. So just ignoring that part and then moving on to why I am making videos on it, the PCL injury, when there have been too many. Yes, but there have not been there are not be, there are too many videos or articles that talk about PCL injury, uh, the operation, the kind of operation that they did, uh, the way they did it, and post-operation rehabilitation that that is required. No one is talking about that. Maybe someone is. I didn't dig deep enough. Maybe I might find some written articles or reviews or comments somewhere, but it's too deep to dig into. So, from whatever surface superficial things that I could found, I didn't find this anywhere where the people are talking about that experience post operation, uh, till the point that they're completely all right as they were originally, as in as the original left knee was. If they are in sports, what their experiences are post operation, after rehabilitation, completely nicely after a year. No one is talking about this. So I thought maybe let me be the one, not for the sake of being the one, but for the sake of people, uh, for the sake of like for the sake of other people. Like I went on the internet, I didn't find anything, so I thought of making this video. As someone else might go on the internet and might try to find a video, and they might find this one. So it'll be sort of help for them. I had very less confidence with the surgery that I'm going through, so maybe they won't face the same situation. So this is supposed to be an informative video for kids, probably. Why not? Third question: What happened and how did it happen? So this is divided in the accident, the fall, like how the fall happened, like how did I fall. Third, the 15 minutes after the fall, and then 15 minutes after the fall. No, the 15 minutes after the fall, and then after 15 minutes, what was the situation? And then there will be uh, what I was facing with my knee. That is after 15 minutes. So the accident, I was cycling. I am a pretty, I was going to say cyclist, but I am not a cyclist yet. But I want to be one. I have some ambitions. I want to compete in state trials, national trials. Hopefully, I will. So I was practicing. I just started cycling, and I had to stop because of the accident. And I was going downhill. It was a very sharp hairpin turn, and I was at 24 kmph. Um, as the Strava says, I looked over there. I have recorded the ride. I was at about 20 to 24 kmph, and that was all right. Speed was not an issue. What was the issue is that I bent too much. I leaned too much. The grip lost of front tire. The tire slipped. The first thing to contact the ground was my knee. So my knee, when it touched the ground, the sort of impact it took was kind of a lot, because I've read to isolately tear a PCL, a lot of force is involved. It generally the PCL tear generally happens with tear of other ligaments as well, and it takes tremendous amount of force to just tear the PCL thing. So let's just say it was tremendous amount of force. I was at this height. This is about 4 feet, 4 feet from the ground. A little less than that, let's say 3 feet off the ground. I was at 24 kmph, and I dropped to the ground. First thing that contacted the ground was my knee. So the tibial part, the tibial condyle, I don't know what it's called. I'll show the image. The image. This thing contacted the ground the first scratch happened over there. The skin was just bruised, but I didn't feel anything snap at the point of contact. But the impact was over there on the tibia, and the second impact was on my the patella, patellar bone. I don't feel any pain over there, but the bruise was pretty deep. After this happened in a fraction of a second, and then I got up, like the most dramatic accident once, when they fall to the ground and then get up somehow. So that's how it happened with me as well. So the 15 minutes after the fall, the 15 minutes after the fall, that is when I was taking rest because I could not move my leg anymore. So the the place where I dropped my cycle, where I fell on the ground, a cycle went about 40 feet off the road and somewhere else, 40 feet, 40 to 50 feet about. And then I slid for about 20 feet. And then from that point, the cycle was about 20 more feet away from me. So I was thinking of going to cycle so that I could pick it up, but the moment I stood up, after 1 second, 2 seconds, I realized I cannot walk. I couldn't bend my leg. So I went on one of the barricades, which is broad enough to for someone to sit. I sat on that, and for 15 minutes, I could not really do anything about the knee. Until then, I washed my wounds. By the end of 10 minutes, I could stand up with my leg not straight, bent. But I could stand up. When I stood up, there was some pain, there was some restriction. I tried to squat, but I did not want to risk it, so I did not. Only partially I tried to bend my knee, and I could move around. Maybe tried to jump a little bit, maybe not. I don't remember. So I did this, and I inspected for the next 5 minutes. I inspected the road and how the accident happened, what went wrong. It was nothing, just my carelessness. That happened, and then I to went on to take the cycle and then move on so that I can reach home. So at that point, I was thinking of doing another 200, 300 meters of climbing and then going home. So it would have been equated to, from that point, it would have been equated to around 30 more kilometers. I cycled for about 10 kilometers, pedal with my right leg because that's all I could do. While pedaling, there was restriction. I could not bring my the the lower leg upwards. I could not lift it up the ground. While running, we do it. While walking, we do it. We lift it up the ground so that we can proceed further. So I could not do that. I could passively bring it up. There was still some restriction in range of motion, uh, but I could actively not really bring it up. I did not have the strength to do that. I figured something was wrong with my knee because I felt some restriction. It was not the sort of restriction that as if someone has got, as if the joint has jammed. It was a kind of restriction as if I show, yeah, just a second. If this is the straight leg, I could not, if this is straight, I could not lift my leg up like this. If this is the joint, I could not lift it up. But passively, I could bring it up. And something just wasn't right. I could not, I felt something was restricting it from moving. So I figured that this bone was over here, and that's why it is not letting me bend my knee completely. So I thought it is just a dislocation, nothing else. I should go home and then snap it back into its place. So moving on, I reached home on an auto, and while in auto, I could not bend my knee further than 90 degrees. After reaching home, I could not walk freely. There was some restricted movements. There was some pain. There was some fear associated with the whole fall. So I did not walk as fast as I could. Maybe I could not. So that happened, and there was pain. Not a lot of pain, not excruciating pain, but pain nonetheless. Uh, so I reached home. I took a bath. I took a photo. It looked like this. It may not look like much of swelling, but compared to the right, there was swelling, and uh, it was not in a very good condition. So, next point, doctor's visit. So, we went to the first thing is like the standard if you are hurt, it's something related to joints or bones. It's a standard protocol. You go to Sanchiti Hospital. I went to Sanchiti Hospital where I met with Dr. Sunny Gugale, and then at 3 o'clock, about at 3 o'clock, we went to his office, and he was doing the basic tests, the basic protocols that give an impression to take the stability of knee, basically. Those tests were done, and his first impression was confusing. It was mixed. whatever I could see from his face, it was a mixed sort of reaction. So as I had thought of like back at home, I thought something had dislocated. Right back at home and back on the road, I thought something had dislocated. Because the expression, I thought maybe yeah, he because my mother also came with me and she told him that I was predicting that I was thinking it's a dislocated leg. So when she said that, just about then when he checked the drawer test and everything else he did, and just about then I thought, this kind of reaction he gave, as if yeah, something is confirmed. So after that, some time he did the more of a test, and for a moment I thought, yeah, what a relief! It's only a dislocation, nothing else. I'm safe. And then he says it's a PCL deficient knee, and it would need reconstruction. And I started laughing right in front of him. So that happened. Then we left the hospital. We went home, and just about when we went home, while going home, I was thinking, I've had these surgeries when I was little, not little, about 5 years ago. I've had surgeries on my lungs, and those were not very pain-free. Those were painful. I did not want to go through something like that again. So I was kind of aversive towards operation. So I thought to myself that yeah, my body can do it. My body can restore its normal function, and my body can heal the whatever tear there is inside my leg, in my knee. So this how everything happened, and I went home, and he had recommended he suggested knee construction, and I had recommended complete rest for 10 days until the swelling goes down, and then take an MRI. So 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 we waited for some time. Then after so we waited for some time. So these are the photos that uh, like show the swelling going down over time, over 14 days. Only two photos are there, but it shows the swelling going down. So the MRI findings. Yeah. Yeah. Also, on 7th, when my accident occurred, I had gone. We had taken X-ray on the same day, and the X-ray was normal. So on the 7th, 14 days past 7th, on 21st January, we did an MRI. So I have also, you will find the link in the description if you want to take a look at the MRI scans and the X-ray. I have uploaded it on the Google Drive, and I have made it public, so you can check it out if you want to. Now, the X-ray MRI findings. I'm not a doctor. I am not a doctor. My parents are. So when I looked at the report, I was the first one to look at the report, and that I was after reading the stuff, the findings of the MRI, the highlights of the reports. This These words. for a layman like me, I mean, it's just a near complete, right? It's not complete, so it can heal by itself. So that rose my hopes up. It was just a temporary relief because I don't fully understand or comprehend what the words mean. As temporary as it may be, we went next day, we went to the same doctors and he Google it, and he confirmed with the PCL reconstruction thing. And I had some questions that I asked. So the questions were, what is the procedure basically? So it's a procedure called arthroscopy, where they put a camera inside. The scopy is always related with camera. They put a camera inside the joint and they look for things, they diagnose. If they find a tear, the next procedure is going to be the grafting, which is they're going to take out the ligaments, uh, not ligaments, they're going to make a bundle which resembles PCL and then place that in place of PCL, the bundles that they grafted from somewhere else. In my case, it's going to be hamstring tendons. From both sides, they're going to harvest and then they're going to keep it, make a bundle out of it, and then they connect it to the bones and then they reconstruct the PCL. Second thing I asked was how much of pain will there be? Because pain, I didn't want to face any pain. So he said there will be little bit associated pain as every operation has, nothing much to worry about. The third thing I asked was, will it be the same as my original ligament or the leg, the knee it was originally? Will it be same as strong as my right side? He said, yeah, almost, just as good, not very good, not exactly as not exactly as good as the right side, but just as good, about 95%. That's what he said. That's good considering it is not even 10% good right now. And after rehabilitation, it would be around 70%. So 95 is pretty good. If I strengthen, yeah. Then I would ask next about what I would ask next was the load bearing capacity that it would have. Now I do cycling, not just that, I do squatting also, and that too weighted squatting. Now I can do about 50 plus my body weight, and I reached about 55 once. That was a one rep max about 1 year ago. Now it's 45 something because I was out of practice. I intend to go to 200. I intend to go to, if not 200, it's too far fetched. I would like to go to 120 kgs at least. That's how much I want to squat. So I asked if it can bear that much load, and he said, yeah, yes. So I was not really convinced with this answer. So next part is I went to the doctors, multiple of the doctors. So multiple opinions we took. So we took multiple opinions. We visited 7 doctors ourselves, and then my father asked other 7 doctors about my condition. So the first one was, we know this guy, we know him, not me, my parents personally know him. So we went to him. It's an orthopedic, and we showed him the scans. He did the tests, and he said right away it will need a PCL reconstruction. There is no way it can connect back by itself. Second doctor in the same hospital, he specializes in sports medicine, uh, and he's the one who would do arthroscopy on me if I I am to go there. So he said right away surgery, but then we asked if it can be conservatively treated. He said yes, there is 60 to 70% chance of it being treated, getting healed conservatively, and I was happy after listening to that. But uh, then I asked more like, what is going to happen in the conservative treatment? What are you exactly going to do? So he suggested that we put cylindrical plaster for 15 days, not 15 days, 1.5 months. 1 month, 15 days. He said your leg will be in cylindrical plaster, it will be immobilized. And regardless of whatever wounds that I was having, I had pretty major scabs over there. And I thought, then he thought, yeah, put it in a cylindrical plaster, keep it that way for 1.5 months, and then come back and start physiotherapy. He did not talk about redoing the MRI. He did not talk about operation. He did not talk about the efficacy of uh, the cylindrical plaster and the days that went by and if it will work or not. He did not talk about anything. He literally said we'll start with physiotherapy. So my hopes that rose came back down again. So third person we went to was in Ruby Hospital, and he said we don't necessarily need PCL reconstruction because in most cases PCL gets regenerated. So maybe that may be the case. That may be so in my case. So let's just wait and see. That's what he said. But also he said that if someone is about to participate in some competitive sports, someone wants to participate, someone has ambitions of competing on a state level, national level, then they suggest that we immediately do the operation. So he says operation. They suggested, hinted operation. Somewhere said operation right away. Fourth person, he said operation as well. We went and he said operation. There is no way it's going to connect back. It's completely separated. If there was some strands, maybe something would have happened. But you need an operation. Then we went to Rane. He's also one of the people that we know, that my father and my mother knows, as the both are doctor. So he said, we'll see. We'll keep it in a immobilizer without any weight bearing on the leg for 10 days. And then you come to us, we'll do some physiotherapy. And if you feel any sort of instability, we'll operate. Otherwise, we don't need to. Also, Jen, that we went to Ruby Hospital, to he suggested us to go to a physiotherapist, which we did. We went to a physiotherapist right in Sancheti, and they gave us some exercises. She properly told me what to do and what not to do. She taught me about 4 or 5 exercises, and both of them they asked me to come back to them after 10 days. We went on 30th of January. Uh, yeah, even there we did physiotherapy. She taught similar exercises that the person in Sancheti taught us. Same to same exercises, except one extra she taught us. The sixth person that we went to was who is in Haridkar Hospital as well, and the one was to referred to us by the Dr. Hardikar himself. He said the same thing. The MRI may not be accurate. The results may not be accurate. We may have to redo the MRI. It is mostly based on water content, so it might change with time. And he also said that if there is no instability of a knee after physiotherapy, there is no need of surgery because there are some athletes who have not needed surgery after rehabilitation, and there are pretty big names too. If I recollect, I will just put it in the description. And they are pretty big names, and they have run the careers and won prizes, uh, won titles without the reconstruction surgery, but with just a rehabilitation program. So he said that, but we were skeptical because he was not very sure about the MRI scans, and most majority of people at the end, even if they said we can do it conservatively, at the end they said surgery should be done if there are some problems. If so, if was a pretty big thing for me. The last person we went to was he is also in Haridkar Hospital, as well as he has a clinic in. He went to him and he did similar tests of all sorts. He very peacefully told us what is happened in my knee and what are the possibilities, what are the possible treatments that I can go through. So the first thing he right away said was surgery is a must. Second thing, I just asked him for not surgery, can it be done conservatively? He said, yeah, for a year maybe if you uh, strengthen your muscles around the knee, maybe you won't. But surgery is what we recommend at my age, which is 23. And he said right away, if someone has ambitions, if someone has even interest in sports, who do it quite um, as if it's their hobby, who do it regularly, who are pretty much regular about what they like in sports, they should do the surgery. Though, if there is someone who doesn't have much interest in sports and only plays something and indulges in some sport once every 6 months, we said we don't really suggest surgery for them, because in day-to-day life they're not going to suffer as much problems, because the rehabilitation will have them covered, the strength of the muscles around me will have them covered. But for the sake of having the best knee in the sport that someone is playing and has ambitions to participate in some major competitions, they recommend surgery right away. So seven doctors, seven opinions. Now, other opinions, seven others. My father called his friends and friends in Nashik and in Parbhani, and they all said surgery right away. None of them, not a single one of them, said to go conservatively. Now, uh, this is done. All 14 of them said to do. Their opinion was to do surgery. So I am okay with the surgery. And surgery is about on Monday. On Monday morning, surgery will be there, I guess, and I will be sedated. No, I will not be sedated, but my whole lower body will be numb. They're going to put some injection in my lower back, so I won't have any sensations nor any control on my lower body. So they're going to do that, and then they're going to do surgery. I also asked Doctor Garland, the last doctor that we went to, that if there is any pain associated with the injection that they give while they give it. But he said no, there is no pain. It's painless, and the time has come, because I thought it is painless because I saw it in some movies that they like the people's reaction when they get injected is very severe. So I thought maybe it is very painful. So he assured that it is not at all painful. And I also asked him if my weight bearing capacity and my strength, it will it come back. He said yes, it will. But you also mentioned that a majority of how it will behave or how strong it will be depends on how nicely you do the rehabilitation programs, how religiously you do them. So you have to regularly do the rehabilitation programs for about a year to really feel the confidence while running, walking, cycling, or whatever that that you do. That was the most said thing by all the doctors. The rehabilitation is very important. There is a case in my family as well, family relatives. He has had ACL reconstruction. He has full confidence in what he's doing. The graft is synthetic, that is he's used. Uh, Mine will be not synthetic; it will be autograph. Autograph, yeah, autograft, autograft, and he was synthetic and ACL, and he did proper rehabilitation, did all the exercises, and he feels just as confident as he is with his right knee. Everything he does, everything he sits cross-legged. He goes to Indian toilet and he can do everything. But he also had a shoulder replacement uh, on the right side. It's replaced with some platinum or titanium thing. I don't know which part. But he doesn't feel as confident. Now, why? Because he did not take rehabilitation seriously at all this time. So that's about it then. So the final decision is surgery on 8th January, and then I will update with what happens next.